In a quiet corner of the kitchen, sunlight spills softly over a collection of empty plastic bottles, the kind once destined for landfills. But today, under curious fingers and a palette of warm paints, they are reborn. Each bottle becomes a little home. Tiny hand-painted windows gleam with yellow. Doors in cheerful reds and blues sit below curved rooftops made of painted cardboard. Some even have chimneys fashioned from old pen caps. The top of each cottage bursts with green, scallions, basil, or mint, sprouting proudly like miniature trees above whimsical rooftops. This is more than a craft. It's a moment of reconnection to the earth, to simplicity, and to one another. A child giggles while painting eyelashes on a house's face. A parent carefully fills each planter with a bit of soil and love. These humble creations line a window ledge or balcony rail, glowing in the morning light. And as the herbs grow, so does something else, a sense of care, wonder, and awareness. That beauty can rise from waste, that gardens don't need land, that art can live in bottles. These tiny cottage gardens are not just planters. They are stories of imagination blooming from the ordinary, of sustainability made intimate and delightful. Start small. Start with one bottle. And soon, a village may bloom on your windowsill. At twilight, when the last rays of sunlight melt into the sky, the garden comes alive. Not with fireflies or lanterns, but with tiny glowing UFOs made from yesterday's plastic bottles. They hover gently on stakes or sit like flying saucers in the grass, each one handmade with care. Transparent plastic forms a dome. Repurposed jar lids serve as bases. Inside, hidden LED lights softly pulsing green, blue, or violet, casting a futuristic glow that dances between the leaves. From their capsule tops, little plants stretch upward, butter lettuce, basil, or even small flowering herbs. Roots dangle through a hydroponic matrix, sustained by clean water and a few drops of nutrients. It's science fiction and sustainability in one quiet breath. Children gather as the sun fades, wide-eyed at the floating lights. Some pretend they've landed from space, bringing seeds of new life. Others gently water the capsules, proud to care for their glowing garden. This project is simple to make. A clean bottle, a hole for roots, a string of cheap LED lights tucked into a repurposed base. Yet the effect is profound. It turns waste into wonder, night into nourishment, and sparks something rare, curiosity. In a world where speed and screens dominate, the glowing UFO garden reminds us to slow down, to look again, to believe that even plastic, once discarded, can light the way to something beautiful, alive, and entirely our own. Try just one. Light it up. Watch your garden transform into a galaxy of growth. In a corner of the garden where laughter echoes and soft wind sways the grass, a cheerful parade begins. Not people, but of pandas. Dozens of them, all smiling, all sprouting green life from their heads. Not real pandas, of course, but bottles reborn into the gentlest guardians of greenery. Each bottle is painted lovingly by hand. Bold black ears, round sleepy eyes, tiny noses. Some pandas look curious, others dreamy, a few downright silly. And from the opening at the top, herbs burst forth, mint, cilantro, baby kale, like wild hair on panda heads. Their bamboo rack perch makes them feel even more at home. This DIY project invites joy from the first moment. Children choose their favorite expression. Parents cut the bottles, fill them with water and roots, while paint dries on the sun. And slowly, day by day, a little panda garden takes shape. But beyond the whimsy lies something meaningful. A story about reuse, a lesson in growing food, a playful yet powerful reminder that we can teach values, sustainability, patience, wonder, not through lectures, but through laughter and hands-on making. The panda planters aren't just cute, they're alive, growing, nourishing. They make any space feel like a place of care and creativity. Whether on a school ledge or backyard bench, they draw smiles and spark conversations. So the next time you see an empty bottle, see its face. See what joy it could hold. Let a panda join your garden parade. There's a soft creak as the wheel turns slowly, catching a breeze that drifts through the garden. Not a carnival ride, but something just as joyful. A Ferris wheel of greenery, where each seed is a recycled bottle cradling new life. Built from scraps of wood and twisted wire, the wheel stands tall and proud, a sculpture of motion and meaning. Hanging from its circular arms are plastic bottles, each painted lovingly, filled with water and seedlings. Basil sways, spinach stretches. The garden is not just alive, it's dancing. Children run up and spin the wheel, watching their bottle planter go around like a carnival ride for plants. Grown-ups smile, curious, inspired. And beneath it all is a simple hydroponic truth. The roots grow downward, absorbing only what they need. No soil, just water, light, and a little joy. Creating this piece is more than construction. It's collaboration. Families gather to paint the bottles. Friends discuss balance and symmetry. Someone figures out how to rotate it smoothly. In the end, it's not just a garden, but a kinetic memory, a monument to playfulness and renewal. And as days pass, the Ferris wheel becomes a rhythm. It turns with the sun. It glows at dusk. It reminds us, growth doesn't have to be still. Nature can spin, sway, and surprise us. So gather your tools. Reclaim your bottles. Reimagine joy as something you can grow, in circles, in colors, in constant motion. On the side of a plain wooden fence, something magical begins to appear. One by one, painted faces smile out from reused plastic bottles. Sleepy eyes, wide grins, silly mustaches, rosy cheeks. And from the tops of their heads, bursts of green, lettuce, spinach, basil. A vertical community of joyful expressions and edible dreams. This is not just a garden. It's a gathering of characters. Each bottle planter tells a story. Maybe a sleepy gardener, maybe a laughing cook, maybe a bashful fairy. Mounted in rows, they turn a dull wall into a mural of life and color. Building one is simple, but transformative. Clean bottles are cut and inverted, holes made for drainage, then filled with water and roots. The faces come next, painted by kids, neighbors, or anyone who wants to bring joy to plastic once thrown away. Over time, these bottles bloom, and so do conversations. Guests chuckle at the faces. Children name them. Gardeners harvest their herbs while smiling back at their creations. Even the shyest plant feels special when it sprouts from a painted personality. This vertical wall does more than save space. It teaches. It entertains. It gives new purpose to forgotten things. It makes gardening feel personal, as if every plant had a face cheering it on. Hang one smile today, then another. Let your wall become a storybook of sustainability. One grin, one root, one reused bottle at a time. Somewhere between art and ecology, a gentle buzzing fills the garden. Not from wings, but from wonder. Suspended beneath tree branches or wooden beams, little bee-shaped planters swing softly. They're made from plastic bottles, painted golden yellow with bold black stripes. Some smile shyly, others beam with googly eyes and rosy cheeks. And all of them, every single bee, carries life on its back. From the opening atop each bottle, herbs rise. Coriander, chives, baby lettuce. Like pollen cradled by flight, these green shoots burst gently from the bees' backs. And as the wind moves, the bottles dance, a floating garden that hums with imagination. Creating them is part play, part purpose. A plastic bottle becomes a canvas. Wings are made from cut packaging. String becomes flight. A little paint, a little patience, and a whole lot of joy brings each bee to life. Children adore this project, not just for the fun of painting faces, but for what they learn. That bees matter, that plants grow, that waste can fly again as beauty. And adults, they rediscover childhood. One bee, then two. Soon, a swarm of recycled joy hovers above a once empty space. This bee garden is more than decorative. It's educational. It's ecological. It's emotional. A celebration of pollinators, play, and the possibility of renewal. Hang one bee. Let it buzz with purpose. Then hang more until your garden becomes a cheerful sky of yellow wings, green growth, and second chances. In a shady patch of garden, where soft laughter floats on the breeze, a group of green frogs sits in a row, grinning, wide-eyed, and proudly growing herbs from their heads. They are not real frogs, of course, but their smiles feel alive. Their eyes glisten in the sun. They are guardians of growth, made from yesterday's plastic bottles and today's quiet creativity. Each bottle has been cut and painted with care. Vivid green coats, bright yellow eyes, red cheek smiles. Every frog with its own silly charm. From the top sprouts mint, spring onion, or even dill, like leafy crowns waving gently in the wind. This DIY project does more than teach how to grow. It teaches how to care. Children paint with giggles, naming each frog as if meeting an old friend. Parents join in, clipping herbs to cook with, saying things like, "Let's take some parsley from Booty the Frog." These frogs don't just sit. They guard the joy of reuse. They stand watch over a new kind of learning. That sustainability can be playful, that the garden can be a stage for character and kindness. Set them in a row on a ledge, or let them hop through the flower beds. Watch them catch eyes and smiles from passers-by. These frogs don't croak. They remind that even waste can turn whimsical, that even the smallest bottle can leap into something lasting. Let your garden be a pond of laughter and green. Start with one happy frog, and soon a family will form. It slithers along the railing, proud, green, and full of life. A dragon not of fire, but of foliage. Its body is stitched together from reused plastic bottles, each one painted in rich greens, bronze, and earthy browns. The dragon's head, a masterpiece, boasts eyes full of wisdom, curled whiskers from string, and rope antennae that bounce with the wind. This is no ordinary garden. It's a fantasy born from everyday waste. A bottle becomes a scale. A line of bottles becomes a spine. And from each one, green bursts forth, coriander, mustard greens, even young pak choi, like fire sprouting from the dragon's back. Children crowd around it. They point at the segments. They water the herbs as if feeding the beast. Some give it a name. Others add jewels and glimmering stickers. The dragon, once scattered trash, becomes the soul of the balcony. Strong, long, living. This railing parade is not just beautiful. It's practical. The horizontal design is perfect for tight spaces. It teaches balance of weight, of water, of growth. And it invites everyone into the process. Build, paint, plant, care. With each plant harvested, the dragon gives. With each bottle reused, the world heals a little more. In the quiet mornings, when dew clings to its leafy mane, the dragon looks almost real, a creature of myth and purpose. A reminder that sustainability can have teeth, scales, and wonder, if only we believe in the magic of what we hold in our hands. So build your own. Let your railing be its road. And may your garden awaken with the breath of a gentle green dragon. Along the edge of a sunny backyard table, a creature stretches its body, gentle, green, and full of new life. It's not a bug to be squashed, but a caterpillar made of recycled bottles, crawling its way into the heart of every curious gardener. Each bottle is a segment, painted in rich earthy greens, some daughter-like leaves, others striped like jungle bark. Twine legs peek out below. A pair of antennae dance with the breeze. And from the top of each segment, herbs sprout, parsley, oregano, mint, like soft fur along its back. At the head, a friendly face beams. Big googly eyes, a silly grin, perhaps a tongue painted mid-wiggle. Children gather around it like it's alive, naming each segment. This is Chef Parsley, and here's Dr. Mint. But behind the whimsy lies a smart system. The bottles are filled with hydroponic medium. Water flows evenly from one to the next. Roots dangle freely, sipping nourishment. The structure is low, accessible, and ideal for learning, both about plants and about possibility. This caterpillar doesn't just teach gardening, it teaches empathy. That even something discarded can transform into joy. That food can grow not from land, but from love and laughter. Place it on a balcony, a classroom ledge, or a sunny kitchen corner. Watch it crawl not in movement, but in meaning. It becomes part of the family. A little garden friend with leafy dreams. So craft your own. Let it curl, stretch, smile, and may it remind you, transformation begins with just one bottle and a little imagination. From the branches of an old tree, laughter drips like sunlight through leaves. Suspended by simple ropes, A cast of cheerful faces sways gently in the breeze, red, yellow, green, and blue. Each one grins wide, eyes sparkling, hair made of parsley or basil dancing above its head. This is not just a garden, it's a celebration of personality, of reuse, of joy. The bottles once served soda, maybe shampoo, but now they're reborn as characters, painted with emotion, given names and voices by the children who made them. It begins with a bottle and a brush, a circle of family or neighbors. Someone paints a sleepy face. Another gives their bottle a bold mustache. Laughter fills the air as googly eyes are glued on and twine is looped through the sides. Then comes the soil, the seedlings, the little green tufts that will grow to feed and heal. Hung high or low, these planters invite conversation. That's Annie Lettuce. Look, Grandpa Cilantro's mustache is growing. It becomes more than gardening. It becomes storytelling, a living cartoon, a rooftop comedy, a vertical smile. And as days pass, the characters grow, both in foliage and in charm. Neighbors pause on walks to admire them. Children run out to water their little friends. The space under the tree feels different now, livelier, kinder, greener. With only bottles, string, paint, and hope, a plain yard becomes a gallery of grins and greens. It's simple, it's soulful, and it spreads happiness as easily as wind. So find a branch, pick your colors, and let your garden smile back at the world. They perch on the edge of the balcony, still but alive, a chorus of bottle birds, bright and full of green, crafted from recycled plastic. Each one bears feathers painted in crimson, sapphire, or gold. Their beaks curve from cut spoons. Their wings spread from folded labels. And from their backs, herbs flourish like tail feathers caught in the wind. These birds don't fly. They grow. Their perch isn't a wire, but a windowsill. Their song isn't chirping. It's the rustle of mint leaves in the breeze. Each bottle began as waste, tossed and forgotten. But with a brush, a snip, and a sprinkle of imagination, they return to sing again. The beak is cut from an old lid. The eyes are drawn with permanent marker. The wings, a story waiting to unfold. When placed together, they create not just a garden, but a flock, each bird unique, yet part of community. They hang from fences, perch on balcony rails, or stand inside clay pots. Wherever they land, they lift the spirit of the space. Children love them for their colors. Gardeners love them for their practicality. Teachers use them to talk about pollinators, recycling, and renewal. They become more than planters. They become companions. And in the hush of early morning, when sunlight filters gently across the garden, these birds seem to glow, not from LEDs or polish, but from purpose, from transformation, from the quiet pride of being made new. So shape your own bird. Let it perch beside your window, and may every herb it holds remind you, even grounded things can still lift others up. Beneath the swaying leaves and among rows of herbs, tiny fairies guard the garden, not the kind with wings of light or ancient spells, but ones made with humble hands, from bottles once tossed aside, now standing with grace and greenery. Each fairy has her own look, a face drawn with care, wide eyes, gentle smiles, maybe even freckles, wings crafted from scraps of packaging, translucent and tinged with color. Her gown, a coat of soft paint or recycled fabric, and atop her head or heart, a tuft of mint basil or spring onions grows, like a living crown. They don't dance, but they do inspire. Children plant seeds in their bellies and check each morning for growth. Adults tuck them between pots, letting them peek out like guardians of green. Their presence brings a hush, a sense of wonder, even to the busiest balcony or patch of dirt. Creating one feels like making a story. Each brushstroke, each curl of string, a quiet invitation to dream again. Their bodies hold water and life. They teach without speaking. That magic can come from waste, that gardens can smile back, that beauty doesn't need perfection. As the sun sets, the fairies glow softly in its warmth. A peaceful stillness surrounds them. You might almost believe they breathe. So gather your bottle, some wings, some seeds. Let your hands guide the rest. And watch as your garden blossoms not just with plants, but with little spirits of joy, born from the ordinary and made extraordinary with love. On a little bench by the window, the sun kisses a row of smiling bears. Their round faces beam with innocence, shiny eyes, button noses, soft little ears sculpted from bottle caps. But they are more than decorations. They are planters, each nurturing a patch of green, mint, thyme, or basil, growing gently from the tops of their heads like leafy hair. These bears were once just bottles, empty, forgotten, but now they breathe life into a space. A soft corner of the kitchen or a sunlit spot in a child's room becomes their forest, not wild and dense, but gentle and growing. Crafting them is a soothing ritual. You paint with soft white or pastel tones. A fine-tipped marker draws the eyes and smiles. A bit of recycled paper can add scarves or names or stories. The planting is simple. A little soil, a little water, a sprout. And then you wait, you watch, you smile. These bears are perfect companions for small homes. They don't take much room, but they give back in delight. Each time you clip a leaf for tea or soup, it feels like a gift, fresh, fragrant, and full of care. Children adore them. They name them, talk to them, learn responsibility, and wonder in the quiet, daily task of watering a bear. Adults find comfort in their simplicity, a soft presence in busy mornings. Let a bear live in your window. Let it grow, and let it remind you that joy can be gentle, and that nature fits even in the smallest paws. Lined up neatly on a rustic wooden shelf, they sparkle in the morning light. Rows of clear bottles, each one cradling a little world inside. From within their transparent walls, roots tangle delicately through soil. Tiny green leaves stretch upward, seeking warmth. Bottle caps, some blue, some orange, some striped, sit gently atop like miniature lids, keeping moisture in and wind at bay. This is the beginning of life, held in something once called waste. Creating these seedling starters is a quiet kind of joy. You take a plastic bottle and slice it clean. Invert the top half. Let it rest inside the bottom like a cup within a cup. Add a bit of soil, a few precious seeds, a whisper of water. The cap, loosened just a bit, becomes a vent, keeping the rhythm of breath for a plant not yet born. They sit on windowsills, on school benches, on kitchen counters. And each day they change, sometimes invisibly, sometimes suddenly. A new sprout, a stronger stem. The thrill of watching life unfold inside something so small. These tiny greenhouses are more than planters. They are teachers. They teach patience, care, observation, and above all, they whisper the truth that we all need to hear, that even the smallest container can hold growth. Children label them with stickers. Adults record the dates. A community of sprouts begins, hopeful and humble. So start your own tray. Gather your bottles and your seeds. And let your home be a nursery, not just for plants, but for possibility. As the sky softens into shades of indigo and rose, a quiet glow emerges from branches above. It doesn't flicker like candlelight, nor hum like electric bulbs. It's gentler, the warm, silent breath of bottle lanterns hanging in harmony. Each one is crafted from a discarded plastic bottle, once forgotten, now reborn. The base holds an LED light, soft and golden, casting shadows through the translucent surface. Above, where a cap once sealed emptiness, a sprig of basil or mint pushes through, reaching upward even in the fading light. They hang by twine from wooden beams, tree limbs, even bamboo arches. Some bottles are clear, some frosted with paint or covered in tiny stars cut from paper. A glow from within and a green whisper from above. Life and light, held in one vessel. The making is meditative. You clean the bottle, cut the top, thread the light through, plant your green companion. Then as night falls, you hang it and wait for magic. In the quiet hours, these glowing planters become more than decor. They feel like living lanterns, guiding stories across garden paths. They make space sacred, peaceful, grounded, alive. Children chase fireflies between them. Guests pause and smile. Gardeners sip tea under their soft halos. And all the while, the herbs grow slowly, silently, nourished by water, nurtured by care, and cradled in warmth. You don't need electricity grids or polished tech. Just a bottle, a seed, a spark. So light one, then another, and let your garden breathe softly in the twilight, glowing with life, glowing with hope. They hang in a row like a reef in the air, shimmering fish in coral blues, sunset reds and lime green. Fins made from bottle scraps flutter in the breeze. Big painted eyes gaze outward, and from the crown of each fish, green herbs sprout like seaweed caught in motion. These are no ordinary fish. They were born from waste, shaped by wonder. Plastic bottles once destined for oceans now become guardians of growth. Not drifting in tides, but dancing across fences, balconies, and garden paths. Making them is like sculpting joy. A clean bottle is trimmed to shape. Paintbrushes bring gills and scales to life. Fins cut from the leftover plastic. Tails curl with heat. Mouths wide open in silent songs. Inside, a small hydroponic nest holds soil or water beads, and a young plant nestles in mint thyme or baby mustard. Children adore them. They squeal when one sways in wind, when a basil leaf reaches out like a tongue. Teachers use them to tell stories about oceans, about pollution, about how we can turn damage into beauty. In the garden, they create movement, a parade of color and green. At night, some are lit softly from inside. By day, they reflect the sun and scatter happiness. And every time someone harvests a leaf from the back of a fish, it feels like the ocean itself has offered something fresh and kind. So craft your own school of fish. Let them swim through the sky of your garden. And may they remind you that even floating trash can rise into flying color, with roots of hope swimming behind. It begins as a tangle of rope bottles and leafy dreams. And soon it grows, creeping up the fence like jungle vines returning to reclaim what was once barren. Each bottle, painted in forest greens or earthy browns, cradles life inside. Creeping herbs, baby potholes, sprigs of cilantro that spill like rainforest tendrils. This is the rainforest wall, a vertical garden made from bottles not buried, but reborn. It doesn't ask for land. It doesn't need fancy tools. Just intention, some string, and the rhythm of nature woven into a frame. You cut the bottles open just enough to hold a pocket of soil or water beads. You thread jute or old shoelaces through the bottlenecks, securing them into organic patterns. Some hang vertically like morning vines. Others twist sideways, like wild growth along a riverbank. The effect is immersive. On a simple bamboo wall, your bottles become roots, leaves, and trunks. Children run their fingers along the green strands and point out where mint has grown longer than yesterday. Butterflies pause midair, drawn by scent and color. And inside the home or school, this vertical forest whispers softly that growth can climb, reach, adapt. That even waste, when strung with care, can mimic the wild. It's not just decorative. It cools the air. It nourishes kitchens. It becomes habitat, not only for plants, but for new ways of seeing. So, gather your bottles. Let them sprawl. Train your jungle to climb upward, like your own little rainforest, rooted in reuse and lush with rebirth. It's not just a garden. It's a celebration. A mural of emotions and colors, where laughter grows from plastic and herbs rise like wild hair from smiling heads. This is the Rainbow Wall, a vertical hydroponic haven of bottle faces, each one a unique character painted with joy. There's a red bottle with a goofy grin, basil sprouting like a punk rocker's mohawk, a sleepy blue face with baby kale curling from its crown, a bright yellow bottle winking at passers-by, her leaves catching sunlight like hair in a breeze. Mounted neatly on a wooden fence or brick wall, this garden doesn't just feed, it feels. Every bottle planter adds not just greenery, but personality. It's an ecosystem of expression, where plants become hairdos and colors become conversations. Crafting it is a moment of freedom. Children and adults alike dip brushes into every hue, creating rows of rainbow smiles. There are no rules, just feelings turned into faces. With every plant, with every painted cheek, the garden becomes more alive. As the herbs grow taller, their personalities shift too. The quiet one becomes a wild sage. The bold one bursts into color. And as you water them, clip them, greet them, you form a relationship not just with plants, but with character. This wall teaches joy. It teaches color theory, expression, and care. But most of all, it teaches that even waste can wear a smile. So let your fence laugh, let your balcony beam, and fill it not just with green, but with a rainbow of handmade faces, each one alive, each one loved. High above the humming streets, tucked behind glass and concrete, a pocket of life quietly grows. On the edge of a small apartment balcony, rows of plastic bottles line the railing, each one cradling a green promise. They don't take much space, just a wall, a bit of sun, and a few bottles rescued from the bin and reborn into planters. Basil, mint, romaine, they rise steadily. Their roots reach into clean water and hope. This is the urban bottle garden, a sanctuary not of soil, but of ingenuity. It starts with a search for sunlight, that one sliver of golden hours on your balcony. Then, the design, bottles cut and inverted, strung neatly or clipped to a wooden frame. Water flows, leaves emerge. A kitchen harvest takes shape in the air. There's no need for land, no need for sprawling space, just commitment and curiosity. You don't just plant food, you grow silence in the noise, peace among the pace of city life. Neighbors pass and pause. Is that lettuce? They ask. How did you do that? And so, a balcony becomes not just a garden, but a conversation, a statement that sustainability can bloom even where sidewalks stretch forever. The scent of herbs drifts into your home. Morning light warms your bottles, and each leaf you pluck carries the satisfaction of something homemade, something earned, something green. So look at your railing again, not as a boundary, but as a beginning. Your little garden is waiting, floating above the noise, rooted in recycled grace. In the corner of a schoolyard, joy grows in every color. Rows of painted plastic bottles, shaped like smiling frogs, sleepy pandas, buzzing bees, and wide-eyed bears, hold tufts of mint, parsley, and tiny tomato shoots. Laughter echoes as children point and water their favorite planter. That's mine. I made the ears extra big. This is not just a garden. It's a classroom in bloom, where science meets art, where ecology meets creativity, where children learn with their hands and hearts. Each animal bottle starts as a lesson. What is plastic? What is waste? And what could it become instead? Then come the brushes and the squeals. Green bottles get googly eyes. Yellow ones grow stripes. Red ones sprout ears and tiny paws. And soon, a menagerie of garden creatures emerges, each one planted with care. As the days pass, children check for growth. They learn patience as seeds become shoots. They learn cause and effect as water brings life. And they learn pride in their craft, in their garden, in their ability to nurture. Teachers tie the lessons into everything. Biology, art, teamwork, language. Labels are written. Growth charts made. And through it all, the animals stand quietly, teaching without words. Parents walk by at pickup and smile. That's my daughter's frog. Someone whispers. She waters it every day. And in that moment, a new kind of education takes root. One that sees value in discarded, life in the smallest space, and the power of a child's hand to change the world. So gather your bottles, invite the class, and let the garden roar, croak, buzz, and bloom with every leaf, every paw, every tiny green heart.